Hello there, it's Tonya Poole and I'm here for our Everybody's a Scorpio video, including you. Everybody's a Scorpio, including you. We are officially in Scorpio season, and the day in which I'm filming this, we are actually having the sun in the sign of Scorpio as well as the moon in the sign of Scorpio. So you already know what this means. No matter what sign you are, you could be an Aries or Pisces from A to P. It doesn't matter. We are in Scorpio season, and so there are lessons that Scorpio has for all of us. And so in this video, if you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes, but in this video, what you can expect to get from this is that I will do an overview of what Scorpio energy is, how it's kind of manifesting right now, because it's manifesting in a very powerful way right now. And I will do an oracle card reading for wisdom for all of us for this season, what we all need to know, do, and be aware of during Scorpio season. And then I will go through each sign from A to P, Aries to Pisces, and tell each of you what you should be focusing on or what lessons Scorpio has for you this season. So if you're an Aries, what you should be doing. If you're a Taurus, what you should be doing, all the way on down the line. So make sure, I have a couple of very quick announcements. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and share these videos. There's a lot that I share in my videos, and I appreciate how many of you are really beginning to watch. The more energy I pour into this channel, the more y'all are tuning in, and that really means a lot to me. That's very, very I really appreciate each and every one of you. So make sure you like and subscribe and share, because every week, every Sunday, I post the pick a card reading for the week. And so you want to get notified when I post new videos, and I have some other videos that will be coming up soon. So when you subscribe and click the little icon to get notifications, you'll be notified when new videos become available. Like I already stated, the pick a card reading is done every Sunday. So the one for this week, October 27th through November 2nd, is up and available. And so if you, by the time this video is posted, it will be too late for you to comment on that video, on the pick a card video. But every week that I post the pick a card reading, when you comment by the following Monday, your name goes in the hat to win our monthly giveaway. And so next week's reading, I will be actually announcing our October giveaway winner. So you want to make sure you stay tuned to that. Make sure you see that book back there. I wrote that. The Magic of Self-Love, y'all. It's a guidebook on how to use self-love as a magical tool to transform your life. It's available at the link below, also on Amazon. All right. And make sure that you follow me on Instagram and my Facebook pages. Those links are down below as well, because I am going to be doing some really amazing things in the coming weeks, if I must say so myself. And that's usually where I announce it. I do have an email newsletter, if you will, or weekly email that I send out to my list. But at present, there's no way to add yourself to that email list. So I will announce on Instagram and Facebook when I have my new opt-in, for you to be able to opt into my email, but also to get notified on some very special readings that I will be doing for a select group of people. And if you want to be one of those select few, you want to, get notified on Instagram or Facebook when that becomes available. So that is it for my quick announcements. So let's get on into it. Like I said, this video, everybody's a Scorpio, including you. We're going to go over this Scorpio energy. I'm going to pull a couple of cards to see what what lessons Scorpio has for all of us. And then I will go through each and every sign. So as I was thinking about this season, and those of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you saw the video I just posted on Sunday. I did I guess it's on IGTV, but part of it is on my actual page and on my Facebook page, where I talk about this new moon that we are, as I'm filming this, we are actually still experiencing the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. And I talk about, you know, Scorpio being that sign that really helps us to go into our intimate selves, into our deepest, most hidden, most sacred, most precious, most darkest, most deepest parts of ourselves. I love Scorpio season, even though I'm a sun sign Virgo. You know, like I say, everybody is a fill in the blank, including you, when we're in that sign. So we're in Scorpio, so I'm a Scorpio right now too. And Scorpio is somewhere in all of our charts. You know, you may be a sun sign Aries, you may be a sun sign Sagittarius, I don't know. But that's just where the sun was when you were born. Scorpio was still somewhere in your chart, and you may even have other planets there as well. But whether you have planets in the sign of Scorpio or not, Scorpio is still in your chart. And so when the sun and the moon and several other planets are going through the sign of Scorpio, we are all experiencing this Scorpio energy. I'm trying to keep myself tame, y'all. I'm trying to keep myself together, because this year, 2019, and this is one of the things I love about astrology, because it's very present. It's in the very, you know, it's ever evolving. So you always want to know what's happening in the moment. This particular Scorpio season, I don't even know the word for it. Scorpio's always powerful. Like, Scorpio energy is always intense. It's always deep. It's never surface level. And if you know of a Scorpio person, if they're dealing with you on a very surface level and they don't let you into their intimate spaces, meaning, you know, intimate could be sexual, but sometimes you can have sex with people that you're not really intimate with. So that's not necessarily, I know Scorpio is very much connected to our sexual nature, but sometimes you can have sex with people that you don't have an intimate relationship with. But if you know anything about Scorpio energy, or you are a Scorpio, or you've dealt with Scorpios before, you know that a lot of times that little surface level stuff with them and that energy is not really where they are. You know, it's not until you get to know who they really are and their deepest secrets and their most intimate parts of themselves that you can really say that you know a Scorpio, or you can really say that you have tapped into your own Scorpio energy, no matter what sign you are. Because Scorpio energy by nature is a sign of depth. It's a sign of deepness and even darkness. And when I say darkness, it could go either way. Scorpio energy on its highest level does deal with, on its highest vibration, you know, does deal with going deep in order to uncover the truth about oneself, about a situation, about what's going on in the world, in your life, so that you can elevate. On its lower energy, the darkness then represents jealousy and envy and revenge, you know. And so, you know, if you are a Scorpio, or you've dealt with a Scorpio, or you have a lot of Scorpio placements in your chart, you know that jealousy and envy can be a very, you know, it can hold you if you're not careful. And even if you don't have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, if you are someone who is prone to, you know, jealousy and envy, or even revenge, like plotting, like how you gonna get back on so-and-so, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, that is that Scorpio nature. Because the energy of Scorpio, yes, it deals with the most intimate parts of ourselves, our deepest, darkest secrets, you know, the parts of ourselves that we want to keep hidden, right? So imagine if somebody exposes you, or gets to know you on the deepest, darkest levels, or in the deepest, most intimate levels, and then betrays you. You know, what typically comes from most of us, no matter what sign we are, is not only the feeling of deep hurt, but perhaps even the desire to get back, to get even, right? So that is a part of Scorpio energy. But going back to what I was saying, I have notes and I still be rambling. Going back to what I was saying, with astrology being why I love it is because it's very, you know, a lot of times some of y'all deal with astrology only on like when y'all were born. Like, oh, when I was born a Libra, or I was born a Leo, and that's the extent, right, of what you know, or how you deal with these energies, these signs, right, these 12 zodiac signs. But what I love about astrology is that it's ever happening. It's always happening. You know what I mean? Like right now we got planets in Scorpio, we got planets in Capricorn, we got I think a couple of planets still lingering in Virgo and Libra. I mean, it's not just, you know, your sun sign that's happening right now. It's a lot going on in the cosmos that we are a part of, you know? And so this Scorpio season 2019, what I'm feeling so strongly, I mean, I just cannot emphasize this enough. What I'm feeling just so overwhelmingly strong is this need for us to remove the mask. Whatever that means for you. Only you know what mask you're wearing. Who wrote that poem? I Wear the Mask. It wasn't James Baldwin. Somebody comment that below. Who wrote that? I wear the mask, we wear the mask. It talks about the mask, and you know, it really was talking about the African American experience, but in general, I mean, it could apply to us all, that we wear these masks to deal with society, to deal with our jobs, to deal with the world, to face the world. You know, we have to wear the mask that we're okay. Everything's fine. Everything's lovely. There's no problem in the world. No, we're okay. I'm making it. I'm hustling. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And Scorpio ain't about none of that shit. Okay? Scorpio is about like, you say you fine, but when you remove that mask, what is really hiding beneath there? You say that you're okay, but when you take off the mask, you know, what is really beneath there? Or even if you actually are okay, Scorpio is really about, okay, you know, you're this person in public, but when you remove the mask, who are you on your most intimate, private levels? What I'm feeling so strongly is that, you know, it's not about removing the mask for other people, right? It's not about, oh, I got to, you know, be my authentic self for other people or keep it real for other people. It's about Scorpio this year, 2019, is really telling us, is highly encouraging us to get real with ourselves. Because the one thing about Scorpio, yes, it deals with sexual and passion, you know, and all of that kind of stuff. And even, you know, it can deal with, on this lower level, you know, that jealousy and envy. But it also deals with death. Like literal death and the figurative death. All right. So Scorpio energy, is the sign of death, of endings, of that's all, folks. You know what I mean? It could be a like literal death, but also that figurative death, as in allowing certain things to die in your life that no longer suit you, allowing certain habits to die that are no longer beneficial, because it deals with the lower, deepest, darkest parts of ourselves. It also deals with it. Scorpio season forces us to face our fears and to face the things that we don't want to let go of, that we don't want to allow to go through the process of life, which includes death, you know, which includes letting go. And I always say this is no coincidence that during Scorpio season is when, you know, whether you celebrate it or not, you know, depending on your traditions, that Halloween occurs, and then like the Day of the Dead and All Saints Day, and so many either traditions that deal with death and the spookiness and the scariness and the darkness, but also dealing with your ancestors and those who have gone before you and those who have passed on, right? Because it's this idea that death is a part of life, and that, you know, we all have to, everything can't be love and light, right? If you look at Scorpio's opposite sign, this opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus, and Taurus happens in the springtime, and depending on where you are in the world, but it happens in the springtime. And Taurus energy really represents that love and light and bringing things into fruition. And that's when the flowers are blooming, and that's when, you know, the bees are buzzing and things are coming, you know, into being, and things are coming into life, you know what I mean, and coming into existence. But then its opposite sign is Scorpio, which deals with the leaves falling off the trees and things dying and preparing for winter, and even celebrating death, celebrating the darkness, celebrating the spooky. Because what this is telling us, and what astrology in general is telling us, is that, you know, every sign has its opposite. That's why you can't just be all about your sun sign. You got to know your opposite sign too. You got to know, you know, that's what I do. You can book a personal reading with me. Get the magic of me, intuitive natal chart reading, and I will tell you all about you. But anyway, but Scorpio energy is the opposite of Taurus, you know, and that is how life is. It's cyclical. You know, you can't be all in one energy and not celebrate the other. You know, whether, like, I'm a sun sign Virgo, but I celebrate both energies, that Taurus energy of bringing things into life and the flowers blooming, but I also celebrate, you know, the leaves turning orange, you know, and the season beginning to die away. Nature is showing us what is happening within us. So this Scorpio season 2019, oh my gosh, every single time I say that, it's like I get, my heart flutters a little bit, because I really feel like what I'm feeling intuitively is that with us beginning to prepare for 2020, preparing for a new decade, right? Some of us have been wearing the mask far too long. Some of us have been pretending to like things that we don't like, have been in relationships with people that are not compatible with us, have been on jobs that don't suit our skill set, not even just our skill set, because a lot of us are doing things that we are skilled to do, but don't suit our purpose. See, Scorpio forces you to get real with your purpose. In my notes, I actually have getting real with your purpose, fiercely letting go or having it taken away from you, right? So it's like we are all being challenged to say, to really look at, are we living in our purpose? Are we really walking it out? Because Scorpio energy, and it's ruled by the planets, two planets, Pluto and Mars, and those two planets ain't nothing to joke around with. You know, when you're looking at an astrology chart, a lot of times you want to look at where Mars is and where Pluto is, because those two planets deal with a lot of, you know, aggression and death and bringing surrender. You know what I mean? So Pluto is saying, like, look, whatever you're doing that's not aligned with your purpose, if it's taking up too much of your time, if it's keeping you from your purpose, then you got to let it go. If it's keeping you from the love that you desire for your life, again, because the opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus, which does in some way deal with that love energy, right? So if whatever is keeping you from experiencing that love energy and that life force energy, you got to bring death to it. Anything that's keeping you from life, you need to bring an ending to it. I ain't telling y'all, disclaimer down below, I ain't telling nobody nothing about doing nothing illegal. I'm just telling you, or harmful to yourself. I'm telling you that this time of year, this Scorpio energy, this year in particular, we are challenged to bring an end to anything that does not bring us life. Anything that does not bring us prosperity. And when I say prosperity, I mean not just financial prosperity. I mean prosperity in the truest definition of what that word means. Prosperity in its definition means your whole well-being. Mind, body, spirit, soul, finances, emotions, every part of you prospering. So, and what I'm feeling so strongly is that what has blocked so many of us, and so many of you who have actually taken the time to watch this, is you. Is nobody else. It's you that's your own roadblocks. It's you that's blocking your own prosperity, your own abundance. It's you that's been blocking love from flowing into your life because of what you are refusing to let go of and what you are just so bound and determined to hold on to. Scorpio, though, ain't no joke. Scorpio season. See, that's why Scorpio energy, and I say on its lowest level, deals with revenge, but really it deals with bringing things in a way similar to Libra, back into balance. So, okay, you were, the idea of revenge is that, okay, you took something from me, so I'm going to take something from you, right? So it's about bringing things back into balance. But in a more beneficial way, it is saying to you, if you are refusing to remove the mask, if you're refusing to walk in your purpose, if you're refusing to be true to yourself, true to your purpose, true to your destiny, true to who you are, then the only one who will suffer is you, because there is that law of reciprocity, that law of, cause and effect. Even it's like whatever you are refusing to do has an effect, and Scorpio season is here to tell you that. See, that's why I love Scorpio season, because it is kind of like a checks and balances. It is really like, okay, if you're refusing to do this, then you can refuse to have this enter into your life. If you're refusing to be your true self and to remove the mask, then you're going to keep living a lie. Period. There's no way around that, so, and you have the power to do that. That's what Scorpio season is encouraging us all. That's what Scorpio season is telling us all. And I just really I hope that I'm conveying this message properly, because, a lot of times when we deal with Scorpio, we want to only deal with it from, the sexual side and the passionate side. But I'm really feeling, this 2019, it's about removing the mask side. That's what it's about right now. It's about getting back to your true self, getting back to your roots, getting back to who you really, really are. It's about, because some of you have been playing around. Some of you have some really true deep-seated desires for your life, because Scorpio represents even our deepest desires. Some of you have a lot of desires, right? But you think you're going to get your desires by playing on the surface. I'm here to tell you, you won't. Some of you have been living this unfulfilled life, right? This life where you're existing, you got a pretty good family, a pretty good job, or you eat okay, you have this pretty, you're surviving, but you're not thriving. You're not excited about life. And that's because you're you're afraid to look at yourself. You're afraid to go into the darkness, like Scorpio encourages us all to do, to go into the deepest, darkest depths of yourself and face yourself, to be honest with yourself about who you are, what you want in life. It's almost like I can hear some of you saying, but I don't know what my desires are. I don't know what I want. You know why? Because you're wearing the mask even with yourself. You're not even being true to yourself. You're not even willing to look deep within yourself and get to know yourself. Because Scorpio isn't about just that sexual intimacy, sexual energy. It's about intimacy. And so many of you may not even be intimate with yourselves. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you desire. You're constantly feeling the needs and the desires of other people. You're constantly wearing the mask that you think other people want you to wear, instead of being authentic to yourself. So much so, some of you have been wearing the mask for so long, you don't even know who you are. So Scorpio season is saying it's time out for that. It's time out for not knowing who you are. You can't enter into 2020 not knowing who you are, but expecting all of this miraculous stuff, all of these changes, all of these, miracles and manifestations to happen in your life. For what? You don't even know who you are. You're not even willing to live your purpose. And Scorpio's here to tell you it's time out for that. It's time out for that. It's time out for that. It's completely time out for that. And if you go back and listen to the reading of the year that I did at the beginning of 2019, back in January 2019, it's still somewhere up on YouTube, on my channel. And somewhere in that video, I say that those of you who will be happy at the end of the year will be those who, basically face life head on, face yourself head on. And didn't wear the mask, didn't just, fake the funk, but were authentic about it. You know what I mean? And so by the end of this year, 2019, and going into 2020, you can say, wow, I made it through this year. You know, I made, not only did I make it through this year, but I elevated. Because Scorpio, yes, it is about the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves and going deep within and even allowing certain parts of ourselves to die. But for what purpose? So that something new can be reborn. Scorpio, in its nature, by his, you know, the Scorpio energy is the energy of transformation, of change. It is the sign of the alchemist. If you study alchemy, you know, one of the things that all of the alchemists wanted to do was to transform lead into gold, you know, or to change lower level things into higher level things. Like, what is the process of transformation? And part of the alchemist process was, you know, allowing things to go all the way back down to its essential, most base level, its most, you know, basic, simple molecule, atom, whatever, right? Strip it all away of everything to know what it is at its core before elevating it up to its highest level. So the idea was that within lead is gold. Like if you get to the root of what lead, you know, is, if you get to the root of what your spirit is, your soul is, there's gold there. But you have to strip away the mask. You have to strip away all of the parts of you that you are just floating along superficially in life, just getting by. It's time out for that, especially as we get ready to move into 2019. This whole faking it, this whole pretending, this whole trying to please everybody, and not living your soul's purpose, not living the purpose for which your spirit decided to manifest in physical form into this earth. Some of y'all need to stop playing. You know, and on a real level, there have been like, I mean, it's always, people die every year, right? But there have really been a lot of people just leaving this physical world unexpectedly, right? And so Scorpio is nothing to be, death is not something to be afraid of. It is a part of life, but it is something to be aware of. And you don't want to die without having lived your purpose. You don't want to die having, you know, worn the mask your whole life to pretend to be something that you're not because you're afraid of what people might say or what they might think. Now, I'm not saying that we can't elevate and grow, because again, Scorpio energy is about elevation and transformation and eventually growing. So I'm not saying that, you know, if you're doing something or if you're living a life underneath the mask that is detrimental to your soul, because some of you may be wearing the mask of this, you know, this perfect moral, you know, upstanding citizen or whatever of your community. And underneath it all, you got a lot of skeletons and demons in your closet. So Scorpio again is telling you to go into that deepest, darkest part of yourself. You gotta stop being afraid to face yourself, your fears, your shit, your stuff, your deep, dark stuff. You gotta stop being afraid to face yourself. If you can't face yourself, no wonder you can't face nobody else. No wonder you wearing the mask. You know, and if you are living a way underneath the mask that doesn't please your own spirit, you know, then this is your wake-up call to change that, to transform that, and to do the work that it will take to change that. Even if it means telling your truth and being really, really real. Even if it means standing down from some things, sitting out from some things, saying I can't even participate in this or that, this and that, because I got to deal with myself first. So I can't go to this event and be a part of this and do that because I've got to sit down and face myself. And when I'm done facing myself, then I'll get back on if that's what my spirit is telling me to do, right? But it's time to face yourself. And if it's help that you need, get the help that you need. If it's being honest and telling the truth, then it's time to be honest and tell the truth. But you will manifest whatever it is. Scorpio tells us, Scorpio is the sign that says, you know, what is done in the dark comes to the light eventually, you know. And so if what you're doing in the dark, you don't want to come to the light, then now is your time to change, to heal, to transform that. And that's what Scorpio season is telling all of us. All right. So that is it. I was going to go all into everything. You know, we got the sun in Scorpio. We got this new moon in Scorpio. New moons deal with change. It's a great time to have resets. It's like a new cycle. It's like a new beginning. So this new moon that we just experienced on October 27th and through the 28th is telling us, look, this is a new beginning for you to face your deepest, darkest self and to create an intention to transform yourself, to heal yourself. And you can do it. And Scorpio energy really is the sign, like I said, the sign of the alchemist. It is a magical sign. It is the sign of manifestation. Okay, so this is the perfect time to do that inner work. Venus is in the sign of Scorpio until November 1st, and then it moves on to Sagittarius. But Venus and Scorpio, Venus being the planet of love and attraction and beauty, this is the time to go deep, to find what is beautiful about you, not just on the surface. Again, Scorpio don't deal with surface, right? So Venus and Scorpio are saying, what is beautiful about you deep within? You know, this would be the perfect time, not so shameless plug, but this would be the perfect time to get the magic of self-love, because it deals with how do you love yourself deep within, not just on the surface. How do you love yourself deep within so that you can create that change in your life? You know, you can change yourself. So Venus and Scorpio encourages us to do that. Oh my God. It must not have been meant for me to talk a long time about this, because I ain't gonna be on here. I keep saying I ain't gonna do these. These ain't gonna be long. And I already see, as of right now, I'm at like 31 minutes, but it is what it is. Okay. Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury is going retrograde on October 31st, I believe it is. And when the planet, many of you maybe have heard about this a lot. You can just Google it. But when the planet Mercury, when any planets go retrograde, it just looks like they're going backwards in the sky. They stand still and then it looks like they're moving backwards in the sky. It's just an optical illusion. But when Mercury goes retrograde, it's the planet that goes retrograde the most. It happens about 3 times within a year. So when Mercury goes retrograde, we may experience delays in travel, delays in some of our technology. You know, things start to slow down, because Mercury deals with communication and travel and the transformation or the transportation of words and thoughts and travel. It deals with movement, right? So during Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is really telling us that, you know, we really do have to be mindful of our words, because our words, again, Scorpio is a deep sign. So our words can have a deeper impact for a longer period of time than we intended. So we have to be careful about what we say. You know, and if you're saying something is the truth and it needs to be said, I ain't saying don't say it. I'm just saying that, you know that there may be longer term consequences to your words, and that's okay. That's okay. Mercury retrograde is here for a reason. It's not something to be afraid of. It's here to help us. So Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, we is really like, we're actually probably going to see a lot of people communicating in a way that we thought they would never do that or never say that, but it's because the mask is being removed. So they got to say it. You know what I mean? They got to get it off their chest. It has to be communicated. It has to be verbalized. So just be mindful of that. Mars doesn't go into Scorpio until November 19th, which will be towards the end of Scorpio season. But Mars is one of the ruling planets of Scorpio. So it goes into Scorpio November 19th, and we'll just deal with that. Maybe I'll talk more about that once we get closer to that. And then on November 12th, we have the full moon in the sign of Taurus, obviously, because if we're in Scorpio season, that means whenever we have a full moon, it's going to be in the opposite sign. So it's in the sign of Taurus. And so during that time, we will all be looking at Have we gone deep enough to reap the benefits that we say that we want? We will be challenged to look at the depth and the real intimate, how intimate are our relationships? You know, how connected to our purpose is the way that we make our money, because Taurus deals with how you money and resources. You know, are you just doing things to make money, or is it really, you know, connected to a deeper, higher level of your own spiritual self, right? And so I might do a full moon video on that. But I do have an event. I didn't even say it in the announcements. I do have an event coming up with Copper Vibrations. We have another full moon sip and learn. So that link will become available very soon, because we will have the in-person version. And then those of you who are not in my area, you can tune in online. So you can buy those tickets and either watch online or join us in person. We'll delve more deeply into that full moon and the rituals that are involved with that particular full moon. All right. So as promised, I will pull 2 cards to give us all clarity, wisdom, and guidance on what we most need to know, do, and be aware of this Scorpio season. So we are in our first full week of Scorpio season at the time that I'm filming this. So I'm just kind of talking to the cards right now. That's what I call it, talking to the cards. But anyway, what do we most need to know? What do we all most need to know, no matter what sign we are? What wisdom and guidance is there for us all? Y'all, these cards are going everywhere. Thank you for your patience. What do we all most need to know, do, and be aware of this Scorpio season? What wisdom and guidance is there for us this Scorpio season? Look, I was trying to, you know why these cards probably going everywhere too? Because I'm sitting here trying to rush, because I'm looking at the time, like I'm at 36 minutes, and I'm like, gosh, you know, every time I say this is just going to be a 20-minute video, it ends up being way longer than that. And I still got to go through each one of y'all's signs. And so these cards are like, you better slow down. You know, it's Mercury retrograde, you know. So this is also a reminder, you know, of all of us to take our time, you know, to take our time. Don't rush. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio reminds us all not to rush, not to feel like time is running out. We're about to run out of time. We got to hurry up. We got to rush, you know. Scorpio, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is telling us to take our time. Everything will happen at the right time, at the perfect time, all right? So anyway, what do we all most need to know this Scorpio season? What wisdom and guidance? So, what wisdom and guidance is there for us all this Scorpio season? Thank you. All right, so the first card is pulled. And then our second card. I ain't editing none of this out either. I ain't got time for all that. This is what it looks like behind the scenes. When I do the pick a card, this is the type of shuffling I do before y'all actually see me like laying down the card. So consider this your behind the scenes. One card already flew out, but I'm gonna pick out another one. So it looks like y'all actually get 3 cards this time. So what wisdom and guidance is there for all of us? What do we most need to know, do, and be aware of this Scorpio season? Thank you. Wow, okay. All right, so here's what the cards are telling us all. All right, y'all, so these are the cards that came up for our wisdom and guidance for this Scorpio season for everyone. So the first card that came out is a card called the Tribe. So this one, I will just read what the information that comes with this card. And then these here, I have my own interpretation as to the wisdom and guidance that it has for us. So this Scorpio season, the Tribe says, community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, a kinship, and of purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are a part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. Wow. All right, so the relationship message says you're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, and perhaps also those that you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another. Accepting the truth that everyone has flaws is part of that dance. Yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. Wow. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. And then the last message that I'll read here is the prosperity message. It says, whenever you're in a community of like-minded others, there is a powerful opportunity to reap great abundance. It's essential to ask, what can I contribute, rather than what can I get from this? Figure out a need and look to fill it. Something meaningful will manifest. Even if what manifests is small, it is a sign that the doors of opportunity will swing open wider. There is also another meaning of this card to consider. Don't try to be all things to all people. Choose your role and be true to it, and serve from a sense of authenticity. Serve from a place of authenticity. There is no greater feeling of accomplishment than knowing you have purpose. Wow. So just my own interpretation of all of this, for this card to appear this Scorpio season, and Scorpio dealing with, going into the intimate spaces of ourselves, removing the mask, because this card spoke a lot about authenticity. So removing the mask, like I said, removing that, even though, there are parts of ourselves that show up in certain places. So for example, if you're in a tribe, one of your tribes is a community organization, they're going to see a part of you that maybe isn't exactly the same that your husband or your wife or your children or whoever will see, right? That's only natural. But it should be a true version of who you are. And so how we will reap the most benefits from our tribes, from our community, from our family, from whatever we find ourselves partnering with and dealing with this season, will be based on how authentic we are when we show up, how much of the mask we have removed, how true we are to our purpose and our desires. That is, it's very interesting that Scorpio oftentimes they'll say like it deals with other people's money, right? So Taurus is, your money, but Scorpio season shows you how you deal with, the resources basically that you receive through the partnerships that you have with other people, through the relationships that you have created and built with other people. So look at your tribe. It's not just about money per se, but it is about, how do you all benefit from you being a part of your tribe? What are you gaining and what are you leaving as a part of being a part of your tribe? And the only way to know that for sure is really being authentically yourself, to make sure that you're getting and receiving the best that you can. All right, so these two cards here, this is the card that just flew out on its own, and I don't always tend to read that card because sometimes it's just the way the person is shuffling, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but sometimes I do when I feel that I am led to do so. So this Two of Pentacles here is a card. Wow, now I see it. Okay, so like I just said, other people's money. The Pentacles a lot of times do represent resources, finances, right? And with us just getting this card here, the tribe. How is your tribe? How are your relationships, your partnerships, your family, whatever? How do those situations determine the money that comes to you and the money that you release, right? Because the Two of Pentacles deals a lot with juggling. And not only just juggling, but balancing. As you gain, you pay out, and then you get more. It's the flow. It's the flow of currency. It's the flow of how resources and money, and not just money, but your time is spent. So look at this season. We're all challenged to look at how we are juggling our schedules, how we are juggling our finances, and are we juggling our finances and our time and resources because of the mask that we're wearing? We got to keep up with the Joneses. We got to be at this event. We have to pay these dues. We have to do this and that because, we committed to doing it, or it looks good to do it, right? Or are we balancing? Because there's a difference between juggling and balancing. Are we balancing our time? Are we balancing our resources in a way that allows us to reap the rewards, to reap the benefit, to allow those resources and that money and our time to flow back to us, right? So do you feel depleted? Do you feel like you're depleted because you're just juggling so much? Then Scorpio season is saying, okay, what perhaps there might be something you need to let go of, or perhaps there's something that, there's a better way to balance your resources and your time and your energy. Because then the second card that came out is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant really deals with rules and regulations, right? And following the rules and following the blueprint that's given. And so if you are finding yourself out of balance, and just juggling so much, trying to stay a part of a tribe that, either you are supposed to belong to, or maybe you're not, whatever, but you may be engaging with the world around you in a way that's depleting you. And so Scorpio season with this Hierophant is saying, there's still the law, the laws of the universe still exist. That law of reciprocity, the law of giving and receiving, the laws of cause and effect, the laws of polarity. You know what I mean? All of those divine laws of the universe are still in effect, and you are not outside of the law. So either get into divine flow with your time, balance your time and your resources better, and make sure that they are aligned to your truest and highest goals, or be prepared to let some things go. Because you will reap what you sow, and if what you're sowing is confusion and juggling and wearing the mask, you know what I mean, to keep up appearances, then you'll reap that. The Hierophant is saying, well, then you'll reap that because the law doesn't change, right? But if you are practicing or get into the practice of balance and get into the practice of living your purpose and making sure that you are staying, that your actions and your words are in divine flow with your purpose, and even your money is flowing the way, in line with your purpose, and your goals, then the law will work for you. But the law always works in harmony with divine balance, so making sure that you're staying in balance and that you are relating to your tribe in a way that is authentic, in a way that is genuine, and not in a way to just keep the mask on. All right. So that is it for our oracle and card reading for our Scorpio season. All right. All right, y'all. So let's go through all the signs from A to P, Aries to Pisces. I got my black tourmaline in my hand, just in case y'all were wondering. Black tourmaline is a great stone for, oh my God, it is a Scorpio stone because it deals with transformation. It can transform lower, unbeneficial, heavy energy into more positive energy. So it can transform, anger into love. It can transform, that frustration or any hate that's coming your way, return to sender, and makes you feel good. It leaves you with the good feeling. So make sure you get a black tourmaline. If you want to learn more, Google tourmaline. So anyway, from A to P, Aries to Pisces, what we all most need to know and do and be aware of. So if you are a sun sign Aries, Scorpio rules your 8th house. The 8th house is Scorpio's favorite place to be. It is the ruler of the sign of Scorpio. So the 8th house is the place of intimacy, of mystery, of spirituality, of the occult, even of your own spiritual gifts, of your own magic, of the alchemist. It is the house that really deals with your intimate self, your private self, your own personal magic. So for all of my sun sign Aries, this is the perfect time for you to deal with your own personal magic. Some of you, if you have any spiritual gifts, such as, prophetic gifts, you have the sight, you can see, meaning on a spiritual level, right? You have any of those spiritual gifts, right? That some might even say is occultic or even magical or whatever. It is really time for you to not be afraid of that part of yourself. Some of you, the wisdom that you're looking for, the intuition that you're looking for, the messages that you're looking for, you're already hearing them. Like, you're already hearing them in your spirit, but you're second guessing yourself. You're like, well, I don't know about that. That's scary. That's, I'm not saying that you got to do anything super deep or, join any spiritual groups or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, because Aries is the sign of the self, it deals with I am. So having Scorpio ruling your 8th house, that means I am magical, I am intuition, I am intimacy, I am depth, I am how you find who you are is on your most deepest, most private, most intimate levels, right? And so a lot of times Aries people and Aries energy in general is very forward thinking. It's about blazing new trails. It's about taking risks. It's about action, being action oriented. But you might not know what action to take if you are ignoring your inner, most intimate, deepest, darkest self. The whispers that you hear intuitively that are guiding you, that are saying, yeah, no, you should make this choice, you should go that way, as long as you're of a sound mind, only you can know that. Check my disclaimer below. But maybe it's time for you to listen to those whispers instead of just taking action, instead of just acting impulsively, I should say. Take action on what your spirit is really telling you should be doing. Take action in the direction that your spirit is really telling you should go. Stop ignoring your intuition, basically is what I'm saying. Stop ignoring your intuition. Stop needing people to tell you once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times that you got to get confirmed by this person, that reader, this pastor, this prophet, this psychic, this medium, this whatever. Scorpio rules your 8th house, so you are your own prophet. You are your own psychic. You are your own medium. You are, check in with yourself first is what I'm saying. I'm not saying ignore the wisdom that other people have for you. What I'm saying is spirit is speaking to you, so listen. Take time during Scorpio season to actually listen. All right, so that's it for y'all. All right, so Taurus. Hey, Taurus. Scorpio rules your 7th house. So with Scorpio ruling your 7th house, the 7th house is all about partnerships and relationships and how you are relating to other people on a one-to-one basis, like you and your partner, you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your business partner, you and one of your friends, you and one of your children, right? Even. So with Scorpio ruling that 7th house for you, for my Taurians, because Taurus really deals with your values. How are your values showing up in your partnerships? How are your core values actually showing up in your relationships? Are they really showing up there? With it being Scorpio is telling you perhaps this is the time for you to go deeper into your relationships. If any of your important relationships have been feeling superficial or very surface level, or because sometimes we think, oh, that's my mom, so we always tight like that, or that's my husband, we've been together so I already know the deal, I don't gotta go all that deep with him, we already know each other. Scorpio season is telling you, Time to go a little bit deeper into those relationships. Time to be more intimate in those relationships. Time to remove the mask in those relationships, because Taurus energy sometimes can get a little stagnant, can get a little stuck, can get a little stubborn, can refuse to see what is really there. Meaning, not that y'all dumb or nothing, because y'all ain't, but you can get fixated on what you want, that you ignore what actually is happening and what's actually there, right? So Scorpio is telling you, because Scorpio is also the sign of the investigator. So some of y'all might y'all might have relationships that y'all got to investigate. Are they really what they claim to be? You know, because, you know, Taurian, sometimes y'all love so much that you ignore what's happening in the situation. So you gotta be unafraid, especially because Scorpio is your opposite sign. Yeah. So y'all really gotta delve into the Scorpio energy. You gotta be unafraid to go into the darkness, to go into the secret places of these relationships. I'm not telling you to be no stalker or to be going through people's phones or nothing like that. What I'm saying is, you could have a perfectly fine relationship. You just need to get more deep and more intimate. Or you could have a relationship that, you know, you really need to investigate and see is it really all that you think it is? You know what I mean? Like really get to what is holding that relationship together. Is it an illusion? Or is it is it all that you really are thinking that it is? All right, so it's time to basically just get more deep in your relationship. Remove the mask from yourself, your partner, and the relationship itself, and get to the root, get to the heart, get to the core of what it is. And I mean, it might be all good. I mean, I'm really rooting for y'all. It probably is all good, you know, but I'm just saying, get off the surface, love, you know, what is really deep down in there, and how is this relationship even serving you as an individual? Is it really serving you? And how are you serving it? All right, so that's it for y'all. All right, so Gemini. Hey, Gemini. Gemini, Scorpio rules your 6th house. And the 6th house deals with your habits, your daily rituals. It deals with the details of life. You know, sometimes we like to just be on the surface of life. We like to just see the big picture, but the big picture is built up on all of the smaller pictures, right? It's like, excuse me, like your computer screen or a TV screen or whatever you're watching this on, right? They always tell you how many pixels are in the screen. And the more pixels the more detailed the picture is, the more sharp and crisp that picture is. And so likewise with life, because Gemini energy, sometimes y'all can just see the big picture, or y'all just see what you're feeling in the moment, and you're kind of, you know, here, there, you know, some of you, not all of you, but some of you have a hard time, you know, grounding yourself and getting to your, you know, what's really happening in your present, because your mind is here, your mind is there, you're going here, you're going there, you know. And so with Scorpio ruling your 6th house, this is the time to not just be all up in here where your mind is here, but to really, and I've been saying this, it seemed like for the past couple of everybody's a fill in the blank, including you. Like, so I really hope that you all are hearing this. But definitely with Scorpio ruling your 6th house, that means it's time to get on the depths of your daily habits. Don't just do things because it's just what I do. Why do you do what you do? Why do you have the habits that you have? You know, and are those habits benefiting you? Because the thing about the 6th house is that the 6th house really tells us that our daily habits, the things we do daily, even sometimes on a subconscious level, we don't even realize we're doing it, right? Over time, that's what builds our lives. So what is building your life? Scorpio season is really asking you, what is contributing to this big picture that you call your life? Look at your big picture, and then look at all of the little tiny pixels, all of the little tiny habits, all of the daily rituals, all of the things that you say, do on a daily basis, how you function on a day-to-day basis, and how you're functioning creating the bigger picture. Because again, Scorpio, if you watched earlier, Scorpio is really challenging us to remove the mask. And so you may have this view of your overall life, but your day-to-day habits is some bullshit. Your day-to-day habits ain't lining up with the big picture that you thinking is there, or it's not actually going to create the big picture that you say that you want for your life. All right, so now's the time to check yourself on the deepest, most intimate, darkest spaces of yourself and get intimate and reacquainted with yourself and your daily habits and rituals. All right, so boom, that's it. Cancer. Hi, Cancerians. Cancer season. It's not Cancer season, Scorpio season. Okay. But Scorpio is y'all sister sign. Y'all both water signs. And Scorpio rules your 5th house. And the 5th house, the 5th house is about creativity and fun and love and romance, right? And allowing your light to shine. It's so interesting that Scorpio season is one of the deepest, darkest, non-superficial signs of the zodiac. Like, it don't play, like, you gotta go deep. But it sits in your 5th house. And so the 5th house really does deal with, that playfulness, right? So, oh, yes, this is good for y'all because Scorpio is a very passionate and sexual and intimate sign. So this might be a time for y'all to, if y'all booed up and partnered up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get it, have a little fun in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I have a little fun in the bedroom. Like, do some things that maybe, you ain't never done before in the bedroom. Read my disclaimer below in a way that, is beneficial for you. Don't be doing nothing crazy if you don't do crazy. But to get how you may find your get reacquainted with your intimate self and remove the mask, like I said earlier, is to really allow yourself to have fun sexually. Allow yourself to have fun on an intimate level. Allow, even to that passionate part of yourself to come to the surface. Now, if it's not on a sexual level, then apply that even in creativity, because their 5th house deals with creativity and your creations. So this is a time to really pour yourself into the things that you create, you design, you make, you sing, you write, you dance, you whatever. Like, get into that playful part of yourself and allow your intimate self to show up in your creations. Allow your most intimate self. And you don't know, see, because sometimes y'all Cancers, y'all just be in how you feel based on how other people make you feel. But how do you feel on your most intimate? What are your deepest desires? What lights you up? What truly lights you up? Get in tune with that, and then use that as the fuel and the force that drives your creations. You know what I mean? That drives the things that you are manifesting. Even if you consider yourself not a creative person, even though I think everybody's creative, we all create, right? Ask yourself, like, how can I make my passionate self, my deepest desires show up in all that I create, all of that I want to manifest into my life. This is a great time for you all to manifest the deepest desires that you've been maybe holding down in the back of your mind or in the depths of your heart. This is a great time for that. All right, so have fun with that. All right, so Leo. Hi, Leos. How y'all doing? Leo. All right, so Leo, Scorpio rules your 4th house, and Scorpio is what do you call it? Leo is a fixed sign, and Scorpio is also a fixed sign, meaning Leo happens fixed dead set in the middle of summer, and Scorpio happens fixed dead set in the middle of fall. So y'all have that kind of relationship. So Leo, with Scorpio ruling your 4th house, the 4th house, sorry, all these earrings keep twisting. The 4th house actually deals with home. your family, your children, your mother even, or the things that you want to nurture. It deals with your comfort zone. It deals with, you know, your intimate space. It really is an intimate space, the fourth house, because can be your literal home. You know, everybody don't see where you live, right? People might see you out in the world, at the store, at work, you know, wherever, but they don't see your home life. And so this is a great time for you all to really delve into what is happening in your home life. What is happening in that intimate space when you close the doors and shut the blinds? You know, what is going on in your home? Scorpio energy is very intimate. It's very deep. It's about, you know, so this may be, not to say that Leo isn't, that y'all are not deep, because y'all really are. Y'all very loving, and and many of you, depending on, especially on the other placements in your chart, you know, because you're more than your sun sign, you're not just a Leo, but many of you are very deep and very spiritual and very loving. So where is that loving energy being poured out into your life? It's really time for you to look at that. Who are you loving? You know what I mean? Who has your heart energy in your heart space? Because it can't just be you, right? Yes, self-love is the best love, magic of self-love back there. But also, who else are you loving and you're nurturing? Those of you who are parents, especially, because the fourth house also connects to either your own childhood or in some ways your children. How are you nurturing them? Are you spending time with them? Are you just all this bright, shiny, bubbly sunshine, you know, out in the world, but, you know, behind closed doors, you're another person, you know? So it's really time to delve deep into who are you when the doors are closed, when the windows are shut, when nobody can see you. What parts of you are you really going deep and nurturing within yourself? And what even, I don't know why I just heard the word like secrets, like what secrets are you holding deep down within that perhaps you need to face, especially if they're family secrets, like things that maybe happened in your childhood, happened with your parents, or happened that your parents don't even know about. You know what I mean? So this might be a time, you know, Scorpio, I love Scorpio season, but sometimes Scorpio season can be challenging because it does force you to go deeper than sometimes you're ready to go or want to go. And you may be tempted to wear the mask. But like I keep saying, I really feel that the theme of this year, Scorpio season 2019, is about removing the mask. And so if you are wearing a mask of everything's fine, everything's lovely, and you only want to show the world all the good, you know, and you're not dealing with some of the underlying feelings that you may be dealing with, or things maybe you came up with, or things you experienced in childhood or whatever, or even if it ain't that deep, maybe it's just you are not dealing with the issues in your home. This is the time to become more intimate, get into those intimate spaces of your home and deal with the matters of the heart, matters of the home, because when you deal with that, that's your foundation. You know, the fourth house is literally, if you look at the circle, if you ever look at a natal chart and it's a circle, and the bottom of that circle is the fourth house, it is the foundation of the chart. You know, so you have to deal with, you know, your foundation, because that is how you will actually live in your life. And I'm really feeling like for some of you, 2019, because Leo really is that heart energy, you're ruled by the sun. You know, you all inspire all of us, all 12 signs of the zodiac, to be comfortable with ourselves and to let our little light shine, right? And so how you shine in 2019 may be predicated or dependent upon how you deal with these foundational underlying hidden issues that you think nobody can see, because eventually they will see it, right? So deal with it now. Get it over with. All right. So, boom. Virgo. Hi, Virgos. How y'all doing? All right. So, Virgo, Scorpio rules your third house. The third house deals with communication. It deals with it deals with short travels, like not long range overseas big trips, but, you know, short staycations perhaps, you know, short range trips, right? I already said communication, and even your siblings, you know, those, people who were brought up by the same parents as you, right? And so with Scorpio ruling your third house, number one, and because Virgo is ruled also by the planet Mercury, and Mercury, as I stated earlier, is going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. So this is a time for all Virgos. You know, Mercury retrograde actually kind of works pretty good for Virgos because Mercury is the ruling planet of Virgo. But this is a time really to, you know, not only watch your words or watch what you say or watch how you communicate, but actually this Mercury retrograde might actually be a great time for Virgos in their communication. So if you have like a social media platform, and not just a social media where you're just dealing with your family and friends and stuff like that, but I mean, like if you have a business, for example, you know, you have a or you have a following, this may be a great time to really communicate with them, but in a true and authentic way. Because again, Scorpio this year is really dealing with us removing the mask. So this isn't the time, because you know, Virgo a lot of times gets deals with perfection. And so sometimes Virgos have that tendency or even that temptation to pretend, you know, to sit poised and pretend like everything is okay, and to speak the right words and to say the right thing, and also to bring correction to other people and to put other people in line. So maybe you want to be careful how, if you have to give criticism, to make sure that it is actually constructive. But if you are the one who is communicating, if you are the one who is sharing, or if you have a social media platform and where you are communicating, this is a great time to communicate with your audience, but to communicate in a way that removes the mask, because your audience perhaps needs to see the true you. Those who follow you need to see who you really are. And it's so funny. I don't plan, even though I have notes. If y'all saw my notes, let me show y'all what I wrote down here. I don't know if y'all can see it. All I wrote was Aries, 8th house, Taurus, 7th house, you know what I mean? So that I can remember, you know, as I'm going down the line. I don't really write what I'm going to say with this until I get here. So it's very interesting with me being a sun sign Virgo. I did not anticipate me saying this and actually having a social media platform. But, you know, I really feel that for Scorpios this season, it really is about us sharing in a way that that is more authentic. You know, you ain't got to disclose everything. Scorpio energy does like to be private in a way, but it is about being authentic. It is about being true. It is about getting to the root, to the core, right? So I'm sorry, y'all, I'm looking out the window. It looked like a little kid. Like, did he fall off his bike outside? I can't tell. Anyway, oh, he's getting up. Okay. So, love the kids. What did Martin say? I love the kids. Anyway, so yeah, this is about communicating more authentically, more sincerely, and not superficially, like getting to the depths. Also, building your relationships with your siblings, because the third house does deal with siblings. So you want to make sure that, that, you know, if you have, you know, sometimes in life, we all get busy, and we, you know, a week can go by, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, you know, and it's like, wait, when's the last time I talked to my sister? When's the last time I talked to my brother? So make sure that you are, you know, that you're staying connected to your siblings, you know, in that kind of way. Okay. So, Libra, hi Libras. We just came out of your season. Now we in Scorpio season. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? So Libras, Scorpio rules your second house. And the second house deals with your core values. It deals with even your finances, your money. It's very interesting. I ain't even going all that because that's too much astrology. But basically, okay, so y'all got a connection with the second house for a specific reason. I ain't going into all that because I don't feel like it. But anyway, for Libra, Scorpio rules your second house. So this is the time, because again, Scorpio is about removing the mask this year. How are you spending your money? It's time to get honest. Look at that checkbook if you have one. Look at your receipts. Look at your ledger. Look at, you know, your accounts, and be very clear about where your money is going and why. And is your money really connected to your core values, or is it just being frivolously spent? So that is something that you really want to really look at. And also with your even in your love life, making sure that it is intentional, making sure that you're adding that magic to your love life, especially if you have a true connection with someone. You want to make sure that there is genuine intimacy there, and not just the superficial, you know, I just like him because he's cute, I just like her because she's pretty, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you attracted to who you're attracted with? Like, really get to first know yourself and be honest with yourself about who you desire and why you are attracted to a certain person. What is really driving your attractions, especially because I think Venus, yes, Venus is still, as I'm filming this, is still your ruling planet. Venus is still in the sign of Scorpio. So you have to go deep. It has to be deeper than just because he looked good or her hair is cute. You know, I like his outfit, he drive a nice car. You know what I mean? It has to be, you know, why are you attracted to the people that you're attracted to? But also, how do they add value to your life? Because the second house deals with values. You know, how are they adding value to your house, to your life? And how are you adding value to their life? So yeah, this is really a time to delve deep into matters of finances and matters of love, but how your money is being spent and why you are attracted to what you are attracted to. You might still be okay with it. I'm just saying this is just the time to delve deep into it and to really make sure it's aligned to your truest, deepest desires. All right. So, hi Scorpios, how are y'all? It's y'all season. Happy birthday. Scorpio rules your first house in general. So, the first house is all about how you identify. It really is the house of I am. I am this, I am that. Whatever you say after the words I am is what the first house is all about. You know, so what do you say after I am? I am strong, I'm smart, I'm a deep person. You know, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm lonely. You know, what do you say after I am? Scorpio, you know, what's so interesting about Scorpio, and even the Scorpios that I know several Scorpios actually, and y'all the only ones that see me do this. So if I ain't even picked this cup this whole time, pick this up this whole time in this video. So I'm thirsty. I mean, not thirsty, I want to sip. That's good. Anyway, so the thing about a lot of the Scorpios that I know, and I know quite a few of you, and what I know as an astrologer just about Scorpio energy is that because it is so deep, because y'all really feel way more deeply than what the rest of the 11 signs of the zodiac know that y'all feel. Like, we don't even be knowing that y'all that deep sometimes, because the way sometimes society is that it forces you to, you know, to try to be on the surface. Y'all got to deal with people on the surface. Like, you know, you got to go to work, you got to deal with your neighbors, you got to, you know, and so there's this well of depth that you all have that not many people get to know with you. And by the time the rest of the world sees it, is usually when y'all are acting out in your lower nature, meaning by the time the rest of us know how deep y'all been feeling is when y'all showing out because of jealousy, envy, you getting revenge on somebody, you doing some real sneaky stuff, or you being real suspicious, and we didn't even know you had all that going on. We didn't even know you're feeling all that. That's neither here nor there. The point is, with Scorpio being the natural first, being the ruler of the first house for, you know, in general for all of you, is that this is the time to really look at who you are. Who do you say you are? You know, don't feel the need to say that you're something that you're not because you feel like you got to try to make other people understand, or you got to accommodate other people. If you are really feeling sad, lonely, depressed, vengeful, angry, jealous, envious, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Because what I do know is about y'all sign is that it is also the sign of transformation. So you all are always challenged to go deep into your deepest levels of yourself and to transform that into something useful. So so that's how you maximize the best of your energy. So, but hopefully most of you, after you say I am, you know, it is something more positive. You know, I am sure of who I am. I know who I am. A lot of you really do know who you are and can't be bullied into being something that you're not. But I would encourage you to live more authentically in the highest level of your I am state, so that you don't feel the need to just rebel because you feel like the world, society, your friends, your family is keeping you hostage to a fake version of yourself. Because one thing about Scorpio energy is y'all can't be fake but for so long, you know. But the problem that some of you have, I'm really speaking from the problem that some of you have, is that sometimes y'all don't take ownership as to why you feel how you feel. You think it's because this person made you feel this way, this person did this to you, this person is trying to lock you in and hold you hostage to this version of yourself that you don't want. Nobody has that power over you. So there's no need to act out, and there's no need to, you know, be revengeful on anybody, or to feel the need to use that scorpion stinger to, you know, use that stinger for good, you know what I mean, to make change in the world, you know. But you know, really right now, 2019, you have the power to remove your own mask. That is your challenge, to remove your own mask, because I think many of you know who you are. When you say I am, I think y'all, you know, when y'all are really honest about it, you know, not to say y'all not, because generally, you know, y'all are, but you know, when you're honest with yourself about who you are, you know who you are. You're clear on that. So this is the season to make sure that you are living authentically that way all the time, so that everybody else is clear on that. Because if anybody is holding you in a box, or holding your wishes and desires hostage, you think they are, it's only because you haven't shown them who you truly are. So be all of you. And even if you have to tell some people, like, look, you know, only my truest friends get to know me on this intimate level, you know, even if you do have to, you know, pace certain people into getting to know you, then just be honest about that. Be true about who you are, and then others will handle you accordingly. All right. So happy birthday again to you. And I love each and every one of you. Well, you know, I don't know all of y'all, but love. Anyway, Sagittarius. Hi, Sag. How y'all doing? I used to know this older gentleman. He has since passed, but he used to always be like, I'm a Sag. You know, you want everybody to know he is Sagittarius, you know. And it's so interesting, you know, that Scorpio rules y'all's 12th house, because that can be a great space, and that can also be a dangerous space for a Scorpio to be, because the 12th house, the only place in the natal chart that can give Scorpio, because Scorpio naturally rules the 8th house, but the 12th house is the only other house that it can fit in and kind of be in its truest self, right? Because the 12th house is a house of spirituality, of the hidden world, of, you know, our beliefs. It's another part of the chart where that doesn't display itself openly, you know, in the world. It's more of a hidden part. So the reason why I say that can be a good space and a challenging space is that it's a good space because it's compatible with Scorpio. The 12th house, Sagittarius, Scorpio rules your 12th house. So that particular house is compatible with Scorpio. Scorpio is in the hidden world. It is the depths of ourselves. It is the parts of ourselves that's beneath the mask, the parts of ourselves that people can't see, our intimate selves, our sexual selves, our spiritual selves, right? But where that can be challenging is that the 12th house is also the place of illusions, and where we lie to ourselves and how we self-sabotage. So this Scorpio season, you are challenged, Sagittarians, to really go into those intimate spaces within yourself, those deep parts of yourself. For example, your belief system. What are your spiritual beliefs? Do you know what they are? You know, Sagittarius is known as the philosopher. Sometimes Sagittarians spiritual beliefs change sharply in their lifetimes, right? So in their lifetime. So, you know, what are your spiritual beliefs? And do you have spiritual beliefs and practices that are hurting you more than they're helping you? Okay. But on the flip side of that, this is the time to really delve into that spiritual side of yourself, to your spirituality, to your your occultic beliefs, right? To your occultic practices. And occult, really, the word occult just means mystery. To those mysteries, this is the time to study. You know, if you practice a certain religion, to not just practice it on the surface, to really get into the mysteries of that religion, to delve deeply into the principles, into the whole system of that belief, that religion perhaps that you are practicing. You can't practice it on the surface. You got to go deep into the deepest parts of your spiritual and your religious beliefs and your religious practices, and ask yourself, why am I practicing in this way? And you might still continue to hold on to those practices, and that's fine. That's up to you to decide. But, you know, and the good thing about Sagittarius energy is that it is the sign of the philosopher. It's the sign that likes to learn and to study, you know. So study your religion, study your spirituality, study those rituals that you are choosing to practice in your life. You know, go, and if you're not, go deeper into that. You know, why don't you have a spiritual practice? You know, perhaps that's a question you should be asking yourself. You know, it's no right or wrong, but this is the time to go into that part of yourself. And I'm feeling some of y'all got to step out of that arrogance. Woo! Felt that. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, so don't get on me, but those of you who you heard that deep within your heart, you got to stop you got to get out of that arrogant part of yourself that may be like, oh, I already know that, or can't nobody tell me nothing. Well, then that, again, Scorpio rules your 12th house. So that might be the very thing that's causing you to keep self-sabotaging your own self. So if you're finding yourself stuck in a pattern that you can't get out of, you know, and then you lying to yourself that it's everybody else but you, only you can change your life and your circumstances. So if you need to seek help and guidance in a certain area of your life, stop thinking that you know it all. Stop thinking can't nobody tell you nothing. Scorpio energy, Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio is the sign of surrender. Surrender or die, actually, to be specific. So surrender your arrogance, surrender your ego, you know, or be willing to die. That could be a figurative death, you know what I mean? Because then continue to be self-sabotage for the next few years because you refuse to surrender your ego. So that was for some of you, maybe not all, but that was definitely for some of you. It's time to surrender that ego part of yourself. So that you can grow, so that you can elevate. Because one thing about Sagittarius is that y'all have got to continue to elevate. The symbol of Sagittarius is that centaur, and he's holding his arrow and he's pointing it into the future. He's pointing it beyond. Sagittarius is the sign of aspiration. So your sign is the sign of aspiration, of reaching, of going further than where you are. Right? So it's time to do that. And the only way to do that is to surrender. The only way to do that is to surrender your ego, to surrender any arrogance, surrendering the I know everything, and really get to know everything. All right. So that is my message for you all. All right. So who's next? Capricorn. Hi, Capricorns. How y'all doing? Capricorn. Wow. I had a powerful message for y'all during Libra season. I hope y'all followed it. But if you didn't, we're on to the next one. So catch on to this one. All right. So Capricorn, Scorpio rules your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of humanity. The 11th house is the house of your social group. Like not just your close knit, you know, your tight one little friend, your two little friend, but your whole, you know, your whole network, you know what I'm saying? Your whole social network. And even the community in which you live, or the community that you are a part of, meaning it could be like you're part of the African American community. It could be that you're part of the 1% community. It could be that you are a part of the female woman community, you know, whatever communities that you see yourself a part of, that's what this energy is all about. So the 11th house, having Scorpio there, means that you can, this is really a time to really look at why you identify to a particular community, number one. Number two, to really look at those connections, not even just why you are connecting in that way, but you know, to get more intimate, to get deeper into those communities. If those of you are attached to an organization, even let's just say you're part of a sorority, fraternity, or you're part of a nonprofit organization or whatever, right? And you ain't been going to the meetings and you haven't been participating and you haven't paid your dues, why? You know, because again, this is about removing the mask. So this is a time to reacquaint yourself with the communities and the part of humanity that you have said, I will be a part of this group. And to delve into those reasons why, but to get more intimate, to get more involved, to get more connected to those communities. Also, the 11th house is very future thinking. So you, and because Capricorns, a lot of times y'all get that reputation of really liking money, or, you know, being, you know, doing the hard work over the long term to build a legacy or to build the finances or build the reputation that you want to create. So look at how, look at how your community and your community affiliations are playing a role in the legacy that you're saying you want to build, or the finances and the resources that you want to create for yourself. Like, really look at how all of that is playing a role. You know, you got to look further than where you are, because some of you actually might be very connected to your organizations and your community, and, you know, but you might be overlooking how they're playing a role for your long-term goals and your long-term legacy and your long-term money. You know what I'm saying? So really look at that, and look at it truly and honestly. You might, at the end of that, you may say, yeah, well, I know why I'm here and I'm gonna stay here. And that's perfectly fine. But this is just the time to reacquaint yourself with that and to get, to stay connected on an intimate level. And the only way to do that is to know your own intimate self and why you are choosing to make the affiliations that you have, so that it can make sense as to why you're staying or as to why you're leaving. So that's it. All right, so who's next? Aquarius. Aquarius. All right, so the Scorpio rules your 10th house, and the 10th house deals with your long-term goals, the legacy that you're building, what you're working for, why you do what you do, your reputation. Wow. So Scorpio season, some of y'all might be challenged in your reputation this season. Wow. Okay, Aquariuses. Scorpio, really, this Scorpio season, some of you may find challenges as it connects to your reputation or the legacy that you're trying to build. Many of you may have a strong, because Aquarius, y'all sign, is very much a visionary. It's very much the I know, you know, like y'all usually, some of y'all be, but a lot of y'all be on point with yourselves and who you say you are and what you feel you know for sure, right? And y'all very future thinking, very vision, right? So this Scorpio season, especially with Mercury going retrograde, some of you may experience miscommunication as it relates to your reputation, as it relates to where you're going, because y'all are very future thinking. Y'all can, some of you can see very far in the future, or y'all just have an inkling. Y'all don't even know why. Y'all just have a knowing about certain things that are coming, certain things that are on the horizon, right? But this season, you know, you're thinking way far, but y'all might be overlooking what's happening right here, right? And it doesn't mean that necessarily you're doing something wrong. It's just that, you know, you may communicate in a way that others might hear a different kind of way. You might say something and somebody may take that and run with it in a direction that you didn't intend. So you have to be mindful of your words. You have to be two-sided, right? Two-sighted, right now, meaning you have to see the long range, but you also have to be aware of what's happening in the here and now. So you may have to, anything and anyone that's connected to your long-term goals, your reputation, the legacy you want to leave behind, you want to make sure that those bonds are tight. You want to make sure that you are being true and being authentic in your dealings with people who are connected to where you're going or where you're trying to go, or even people who could end up being a roadblock to where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? You don't want to give them the block to put in the road for you. You know what I'm saying? So reacquaint yourself. Go back into your truest self, your intimate, darkest, truest self. When I say dark, I don't mean bad. It's just the parts of you that people can't see. Make sure you know that your goals and the path that you're on is still really aligned to your life's purpose. And then make sure that your words and how you utilize your money and how you utilize your influence. Yes, because the 10th house deals with your reputation and your influence in the world. So you want to make sure that you apply your influence properly so that it can't be misconstrued, it can't be miscommunication, can't nobody lie on you, so can't nobody try to throw you off course, is what I'm saying. So make sure you know that, because the 10th house is actually ruled by Capricorn. It's an earth energy. It's down to earth. So even though you're long range thinking, you gotta also keep your eye on the ground. Keep your eye on, and your ear to the ground. What are people saying? What are people doing? What are people saying even about you? It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's just that you want to be mindful that how you communicate and even how you exert your influence in the world can influence your goals and can influence how you're trying to move right now. So just be two-sighted. Keep your eye on the long range goal, but also keep your eye on the here and now, what is happening in the here and now, okay? All right, and so Pisces. Hi, Pisces. How are y'all doing? All right, so Pisces, Scorpio rules your 9th house, and the 9th house is the house of expansion, of growth, of personal expansion, of even thinking big, right? Because Scorpio rules the 9th house in general for Pisces, you want to look at how you are expanding in the world. You want to look at, and when I say expanding, I don't mean like your goals or anything. I mean, how are you growing as a person? How is your philosophy growing? How are the truths that you hold evident, right? The truths that you hold near and dear to your heart, as you say, this is the truth, this is absolute truth. This is how I govern my life. Even your religion, your beliefs, right? How are you growing in that? It's very important that this season, Scorpio season, you're going to have to go deep and to understand, why do you have the beliefs that you have? Why do you have the faith that you have? Why do you practice the religion that you have? Why do you have the spirituality that you have? And really go deeper into that. Study, learn, grow, meet people. Even some of you have to meet people who don't practice the way that you practice, and to be at peace with that, and to be okay with that, and understand that perhaps everybody is on a different path, but what is your path? And don't be afraid to grow and elevate and expand. Don't be afraid to expand your borders, to even travel some, to meet people who are not like you. And meeting people who are not like you is not going to then sweep you off into the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Because some of you might be afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you're afraid of what might happen. But what will happen is you'll just grow. You'll grow as a person. You'll expand as a person. You'll elevate as a person. So you can't be afraid to go deep, because it's in going deep that you grow. It's like I was saying, I don't think I said it in this video, but I think I recently said it somewhere else, that, when construction, when builders build, the higher they want to build, the deeper the foundation has to be. And so many of you have to go deeper into your foundation, deeper into your spiritual beliefs, deeper into, you know, what you say you know, what you say you believe. Why? Study, go deeper into that. Also go deeper into your desires. Because many of you may have deeper desires and longing to grow and expand. So, you know, don't let because sometimes Pisces, sometimes how y'all sabotage yourself is that you're looking for confirmation. You're looking for everybody to confirm that it's okay for you to do what you want to do, to grow how you want to grow, to go where you want to go. And but with Scorpio ruling the ninth house for you, you have to remove that mask and to be fearless about it and take your own growth and elevation and expansion in your own hands. You know, and you will be okay. You will be okay as you do so, because you can only elevate and grow. It's about personal growth and development for you at this time. All right. So, all right, y'all. So that is it for everybody's a Scorpio, including you. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly, truly, truly appreciate those of you for tuning in. This is a labor of love. So if you feel so inclined, there is a link down below to leave a love offering, also known as a donation, if this work has benefited you in any kind of way. Also, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, share this video, like it, leave me a good comment, and make sure that you also follow me on Instagram and Facebook so that you can be updated on when I have some very, very, very great special offerings that I'm about to offer to those who follow me over there. So you want to follow me there so you can be among the first to find out when those offerings become available. So that's it. Until we speak again, I guess I will see you all. Make sure you watch the pick card readings, but you know, even if that ain't your thing, then make sure you check back here for everybody's a Sagittarius, including you, which I will be doing next month. All right. So until we speak again, I'm wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching.